we are back at Up North at 4. Today we are here with Chris Tuff and his dog Ace. And Chris, thank you for coming on and joining us here today to share a very inspirational story with your best friend Ace and how Ace overcame something that has happened to him.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having us. It's good to share this story. And so Ace, he's 12 years old. He's a Belgian Malinois. And for any of those who don't know what that is, a working dog. And so he was trained and bred in personal protection. So he's been my personal protection dog for 8 years until he was fully paralyzed. And so he slipped a disc in his neck. He wasn't doing anything at the time, but he was completely paralyzed from the neck down. So he could move his eyes and he could move his jaw. And when I brought him in for the MRI, we confirmed that it was the disc, and he went immediately into surgery. But the disc that he slipped was right next to his diaphragm nerves, so his breathing was very shallow. So the chance of him surviving was very low. And so everybody at the hospital pretty much, they felt bad for me because they thought he was gonna die. And he actually wasn't breathing when he came out of surgery. The doctor called and said, hey, surgery went well, but he's not breathing on his own. So they're pumping oxygen in him. And we immediately prayed. And 5 minutes later, she called back. 5 minutes later, she called back, and he was breathing. And so every 20 minutes, she kept calling and saying that he's making improvements. And so from that point, 3 days later, the therapy started, the rehab started.
Mm-hmm. I bet that was a long process to get him back to kind of fully himself.
It was. So for the first 2 weeks, I had to turn him every 4 hours. So I literally couldn't do anything for weeks. And then I had to take an electric toothbrush and run it all down his spine and into his paws and his legs and everything to stimulate all the nerves. We did acupuncture, holistic nutrition, just to make sure he had everything he needed to repair. And just week by week and month by month, we started to see improvement. I'm currently working with a specialist out of state to start unwinding his nervous system and get his gait back, because his gait's a little off. Mm-hmm. And so the goal is to have a normal gait pattern by the beginning of summer and jog walking by beginning of fall.
So you mentioned with the slipping of the disc, so that usually do the doctors say that usually can just happen to a dog? Like when the dog is just not moving and just sitting there?
No, he jumped out my window one time, a car window, and I wasn't in the car. And a couple people, when I was searching for him, said that he got hit by a car. But it was bumper to bumper, but even at 2 miles an hour, that could do something. So I don't know for sure what happened. That could have played a role. And then slowly over the years, because I think he was 2 years old when that happened. Okay. And the disc slipped at 8. And he's a working dog, so jumping all the fences and doing everything that he did, I think just played into it.
And you mentioned do you live here in Rhinelander?
I do now, yes.
So what's the goal long term with Ace?
To love him and give him the best quality of life that I can. And I committed to that when I got him as a puppy. And since he's a protection dog, it was literally like the saddest thing I saw when they hauled him away and all he could move was his eyes and look at me. So we don't do all the hiking and everything that we used to do, but if he can start by fall, it's actually a great potential.
And so you took on this rehabilitation on your own then to do it, and really just kind of, help him.
My sister and I primarily, I did take him for acupuncture, mm-hmm. But since I am the reward, because he protects me, he wouldn't do anything without me. So paying X amount of dollars to hold him in the water tank or do anything else, I figured I might as well just do it myself and figure it out.
Okay, well, anything else you want to add before we
Chris, what kind of message would you like? Because this is very inspirational.
Yeah, number one for me is my faith. And so that's important because he wasn't breathing. And so without God, this wouldn't be possible. And then number two is understand or figure out the why. and the how will figure itself out.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank you
much
so
for
much.
coming. Coming up, we are talking with an author who recently wrote a book after this break.